Chandler, Fat Joe, said that Karl Anthony Towns is the greatest offensive center ever. Do you?
He's a Knicks fan, right?
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. So let's take this with a grain of salt. Listen, he's super
You gotta know Joe
talented.
too.
Yeah, this is New Yorkers gassing New York Knicks. Listen, he's great. He can shoot the shit out of it. He's not the greatest offensive center in the game today. So I don't know how he'd be the greatest ever, but nah, I'm not rolling with this. But this is classic New York Knick fan celebrity boosting their guys, which I respect and I love. And Karl Anthony Towns is great. He's said it himself. He's the greatest shooting big, which I also disagree with, because there's a guy, Dirk Nowitzki, that was pretty damn good in Dallas. But no, I can't buy this, Joe.
Hey, Chandler, there's a guy down in Houston that even guys like Karl Anthony Towns, they go see him to go get their game together at that center position. His name is Akeem Olajuwon.
Pretty good.
I thought you were talking about Sengun.
I was like, what? Why are they going to him?
Hey, listen, I know it. Joe is doing exactly what Chandler just said. He's a New York Knicks guy to the heart. He's going to gas up his guys. And he's one of those guys. He's going to put ever. He's going to put greatest. He's going to put legend. He's going to put icon on his guys. This is his guys. That's his thing. He's going to gas up his people. But ever, no, this story is still being written. We got to stop. We got to stop putting ever on stories that's still written without everything that needs to go with it. In our world, in basketball, you need championships. You need records. You need history. You need all of these things. You need consecutive all-star looks. You need a totality body of work to put an ever on something. He's still building that story out. So, Fat Joe, we don't agree, brother.
I appreciate
Joe,
it, though.
Lean back, Fat Joe.
Lean back on this one, Joe. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I appreciate, I like that he did it, though. It's very endearing. All right, Lou, Dyson Daniels said New Orleans Pelicans are cursed, and he's glad he no longer plays there. There are teams in the league that some of us think maybe they are cursed. Clippers could be considered maybe one of them, Lou. You, of course, played there. Is there such a thing as I just can't seem to get out of their own way? Injuries, like, do you believe that some franchises are cursed?
I don't have enough information to say yes or no. Like, where would the New Orleans Pelicans be cursed? What's the backstory on that? I don't have the backstory.
I feel like the injuries is what prompted the start of this, and then obviously just the Zion chapter.
I mean, cool. But if you look at the history of the guys who've had injuries in New Orleans, they've also had injuries in other cities that they've played in as well. You know, from Chris Paul to Anthony Davis to Brandon Ingram, whoever you want to name, besides Zion Williamson, who hasn't played on another team yet, who's soon to do so. They've had injuries in other places as well, not just New Orleans. So are they cursed? I don't know. He can speak to that better than I can. I'm not rolling. I don't know. Just play better basketball.
When I see something like this, it's just there's some animosity between the player and the franchise and the front office and things like that. And you can tell certain guys, they throw a little zinger. Even Schroeder, when he just left Brooklyn, there's no reason for him to say what his son said to him afterwards. He says, "Daddy, we're finally on a good team," or something. Yeah, I mean, that's just a little shot on the way out because of some sort of bitterness or, whatever my relationship was there. But cursed again, the Zion Williamson, sure, is it cursed? Like, are the Trailblazers cursed because they drafted Greg Oden and he never played? Like, nah. So I don't agree with franchises being cursed necessarily. I do think some teams hire the wrong people in charge and the wrong decision makers, but cursed, no, I can't. No, I'm not buying this.
I mean, I like the idea of things being cursed, but yeah, whatever. All right, Chandler, prior to the Rockets game against the Thunder, Charles Barkley said that the Rockets, quote, have no idea how to play basketball. I was not talking about defense. Does he have a point?
Well, I understand what he's saying. He does have a point. Like, offensively, some games, they just look so stagnant. They take some of the worst shots. They shoot early in the shot clock. You can tell it's like they're like a high school team watching like Steph Curry play and then trying to emulate that on certain nights. But I disagree just because I feel like they've made so much progress. I think Ime Udoka is one of the greatest coaches in the NBA, and he's got a system in place. But that's just kind of what they do when they're not playing through Sengun. It's a lot of two-man game. It's a lot of ISO. It's a lot of Jalen Green kind of going one-on-one, taking tough, low-percent shots, which I don't think is going to be a recipe for winning a lot of games because there's going to be too many off nights. And you notice he said not talking about defense because they play extremely well on the defensive end. But I think they don't have like a constant flow yet. They don't have a lot of motion and movement, and so I agree to that point. But I also do think that they are a team on the rise that's going to figure out with more reps with this. These guys have never really played in this type of system before. Jalen Green is a go get it. He's a bucket. He's a guy that wants the ball in his hand. So yeah, he might not have the best idea how to play off the ball, how to move and cut off Sengun in the post, how to slip a two-man game screen with Fred. So I do think there's a learning curve here, but I do think they'll figure it out because they have so much talent, and I think Udoka is a top 5 coach in the NBA.
Fair enough. Lou, you're up next. Amari Stoudemire recently explained that when he cut his hand on a glass casing back in the 2012 playoffs, because he was mad that the Knicks weren't moving the ball anymore. So my question first is, did you guys ever injure yourselves or have a teammate perhaps that had done the exact same thing because of anger, Lou?
Yeah, me personally, no, that's not really my style. I'm not a throw things, act crazy, knock the Gatorade bucket over and do all of that. That never was really my MO. If I had something to say, I always tried to master the fact of let me communicate with these grown men appropriately. I don't know if you noticed, I'm only 6'1", 6'2". A lot of these guys are 6'9", 6'10". I'm not walking there doing a lot of screaming and yelling. I'm gonna approach this thing with caution and respectfully. And he's one of the 6'10", 6'11" guys I'm talking about. Like, I don't want to be in a back and forth with a Amari Stoudemire type guy, so this isn't my position personally, but I've definitely seen some guys get really, really competitive and upset and put themselves in harm's way because of that. But yeah, this happens. This happens a lot more often than people realize.
By the way, Amari Stoudemire went to high school where I'm from in Orlando, and in like a summer league game, I saw him beat the shit out of a dude on my brother's high school.
What?
Oh yeah, he literally punched him in the face harder than I've seen someone get punched in the face. So this is part of Amari's MO, and I love him. But yeah, this wasn't really my my approach either.
Well, because it's embarrassing. Look, I have hurt myself out of a dumb moment. It's an embarrassing thing to have to then explain to everyone. Oh no, what happened to your foot?
It's like the touchdown. It's like celebrating the touchdown in football and then like tearing your ACL. It's just an awful look.
It's not a cool vibe at all.